It's story time with an alchemist. Eons ago, man was one of the gods, small g. But being amongst the gods, man consistently abused his divinity. He consistently abused his Godhead, little g. Man would disrupt the natural flow of the universe. Man would abuse his abilities to create and manifest all things in nature around him. And this brought much concern to the chief gods and all the other gods around him, little g. So Brahma, being the chief god, filled with wisdom, was perplexed and decided that he would take away the Godhead of man and take away his divinity. So in this great strength of wisdom, this great example of wisdom, Brahma said to himself, man has been disruptive. He has disrupted the natural order of things. He has been able to go in and out of dimensional planes and cause disruptions and wreak havoc amongst all realms of existence. He's broken all the natural laws that were put in place, all for his own selfishness and all for his own pleasure, still living in the lust of the flesh. I have taken away his divinity so that he may not be able to cause such havoc. But because of the nature of all things in the universe, if man were ever to discover again his divinity, he would be able to once again disrupt the natural flow of the universe. So where shall I hide this divinity of man? What I will do is call a council of the gods, small g, and we will all debate to discover a place to hide man's divinity. So Brahma, in his wisdom, called a council of gods. And as the gods all came up and man sat on the outside, they debated. For years they debated. Gods would say, well, what we should do is take man's divinity and hide it in the deepest parts of the earth. And if we dig down there and hide it in the grandest of canyons, then man will surely not find his Godhead. Said Brahma. This is true. Man may not find his Godhead immediately, but for all of man's abilities in the flesh, I believe that he will one day dig deep and there again find his Godhead and be able to wreak havoc across the universe. Another spoke up. Well, Brahma, I believe that if we were to take man's Godhead and place it in the deepest part of the ocean, sink it down deep into the most cavernous parts of the ocean, then man will never find his Godhead then. Said Brahma. There is much wisdom there, as man has yet to dive and understand the physical pressures of the deepest caverns. But in man's mechanism and ability to develop and piece things together, I believe that one day man there again will figure out ways of technology to dive deep into the lowest parts of the ocean and there again find his Godhead and break all natural law that he has done before. Another spoke. Brahma, at the highest mountain peaks, the winds are cheerful. They're cold. They blow strong. These cliffs are sheer, and certainly man will not be able to climb the highest mountain peaks. But there is a flaw. For one day, although man looks up at the mountains of Everest and Olympus and Kilimanjaro, I believe that one day man will see those mountains and say to himself that I can scale them. figure out ways to protect himself against the cold, ways to protect against the wind, to be able to create strappings of ropes and hoists to be able to climb the sheerest of cliffs. And I believe there's a flaw in your logic, and that man will climb those highest mountains. Well, Brahma, where will we hide this Godhead of man? I believe I have a solution. I believe that if we hide the Godhead of man in the one place that he will never seem to look, man goes about digging. Man goes about diving into the ocean. He climbs every mountain as if it is a challenge. But there is one challenge that man refuses to take, which is the reason and cause of his destructive nature in utilizing his divine spark. We will hide the Godhead of man in the last place that he will look. We will hide it inside himself. Because in all things, in all the havoc that man has wreaked, the one failing of man is that he does not look inside himself to find his wisdom and balance within his divinity. Yes, bravo, yes, this is great, yes. All the gods cheered and all of them agreed. And so at that moment, the Godhead of man was placed deep within inside himself. And man no longer wreaked havoc, or so we thought. Because in man's search for his Godhead, man has been destructive in creating wars and famine. Man has been able to disrupt the natural flow of the universe and of the world because he pollutes and destroys. He fights each other over superiorities. So a new solution must be found. Where can we hide this Godhead, but yet also reveal it? We will hide it in religions. We will hide it in religions, and we will give man the idea that his divinity is in another realm of existence, that his divinity must come through him through some method of salvation by a third party that will grant him his divine Godhead once he leaves this existence and go on to the next one. We will put his heart upon a scale. And if his heart is heavier than the feather of truth, then another Horus must come and advocate for him. We will give him laws. We will give him commandments. We will give him confessions that he must live by in order for his heart to not be heavier than the feather of truth. We will give him laws that if he does not live by these laws, that he must commit himself to animal sacrifices or personal sacrifices. We will send others who will sacrifice themselves and say that man is indebted to the one who gave that sacrifice, that man must live according to the ways that the one who died for him, that he is indebted to him. We will create things of satisfaction, of karma, that man has created so much havoc in time and space that he has to satisfy a payback, a dharma, if you will, in order for man to be able to find his divinity. Yes, Brahma, this is true. And this is good. And man will struggle to be able. He will certainly struggle in trying to satisfy this indebtedness, in trying to live up to this feather of truth, to live up to these confessions. He will certainly struggle to be the type of person worthy of his Godhead. And the most amazing thing about this is that it is right before his eyes, but we will make him think that his Godhead is someplace else beyond his reach. This is very true. This is a very good thing that we have done. But there will be those who will recognize that their Godhead is within themselves. And for those few, they will understand. We will leave clues so that they will understand that they must come into balance between the male and female, that they must understand grammar, logic, and rhetoric. They will understand the quadrivium of geometry and music, and they will understand the Kabbalion, the Hermetic laws. In order for them to truly be successful at managing their Godhead, we will make sure we leave clues. We will leave clues like if thine single eye be clear. We will leave clues like their body is a temple for the spirit of man, for the Godhead. We will leave clues that when you make the male and the female one, that they will tell the mountain to move, and having no doubt it will be cast into the sea. We will leave clues that tell them that they have to be able to find with that peace within themselves. We will leave clues in the very same mechanism that will keep man away from his Godhead, so that only the few and the worthy will be able to join us in understanding how to be a little g, because we will even tell them flat out that ye are little g's, and most will never know it. This is a good plan. This is how we will treat the Godhead of man. So the moral to this story is that the divinity of man is already inside you. That the ability to create everything in life, everything in the universe, in order to manifest all that you desire to have in your life, that there is a balance that you must have, that you must walk in patience and do your due diligence of study, that your mind has to be open, that you have to rid yourself of fear, understand that there is nothing for you to be ashamed of nor guilty of, that you are ready and to receive love and give love, that you will not speak lies of who you are to yourself, that you recognize that all things are connected, and that every earthly attachment can be released in order for you to attain your Godhead and be able to become that little g who can then work with the laws of the big G. This has been Storytime with an Alchemist. If you care to continue to support us, just hit the PayPal subscription at the bottom or tab at the bottom. Thank you. This is Storytime with an Alchemist.